You are not stuck because God forgot you. You are stuck because something hidden is standing between you and the blessing you have been praying for. What if the delay is not demonic, but self-inflicted? What if 5 temptations, subtle, familiar, even justified in your eyes, are blocking what heaven already authorized? Temptation doesn't always come in the form of obvious sin. It disguises itself as comfort, pride, delay, or even caution. The first is the temptation to compare. You scroll through their highlight reels, and slowly, your faith becomes envy. You stop thanking God for your portion and silently resent what He gave someone else. But comparison is the thief of joy and the killer of focus. As long as you're staring at someone else's lane, you can't run your own. God never blesses imitation, only obedience. Galatians 6:4 says to test your own work, not your neighbor's. If you're secretly envying their blessing, you're not ready for yours. The second temptation is procrastination. Not laziness, procrastination. The lie that says, I'll do it tomorrow. But delayed obedience is still disobedience. Every time you ignore that nudge from the Holy Spirit to act, sow, forgive, or speak, you harden your heart a little more. Hebrews 3:15 says, Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts. Some doors are only open for a moment. What if your blessing was on the other side of a step you keep postponing? The third is pride. Not loud arrogance, but quiet self-reliance. The need to control, to figure it out yourself, to prove you're enough without God's help. You say you trust God, but secretly, you only move when the plan makes sense to you. But 1 Peter 5:6 says, Humble yourselves under God's mighty hand, and in due time, He will lift you up. If you are still striving, still forcing outcomes, still afraid of surrender, then pride is blocking the flow. The fourth is unforgiveness. Not just for others, but for yourself. You say you have moved on, but the bitterness is rotting your roots. You carry silent grudges like a weight on your back. But God said in Matthew 6:15, If you do not forgive others, your Father will not forgive you. That's not punishment, it is alignment. Bitterness poisons your heart and blocks your prayers. That wound you revisit daily, it's not healing, it's festering. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It's saying it will no longer have power over your future. The fifth is the temptation to settle. You've waited so long, cried so hard, that you start convincing yourself this is the best you will get. But that mindset is spiritual sabotage. Hebrews 10:36 says you need perseverance so that when you have done God's will, you will receive what He promised. Settling is surrendering to fear disguised as wisdom. It says, maybe I heard God wrong, or maybe this is good enough. No, good enough is the enemy of God's best. You were never called to survive. You were called to overcome. You were created for more, but the enemy wants you exhausted and compliant. And the longer you entertain these 5 temptations, comparison, procrastination, pride, unforgiveness, and settling, the longer your blessing is withheld. Not because God is cruel, but because He's holy. He won't pour something sacred into a heart that is divided. Your breakthrough is not waiting for the perfect moment. It's waiting for your pure surrender. So now the question is, what are you still holding on to? What are you allowing in your life that's quietly resisting the very thing you've been asking God to do? This is your moment to break free. Lay it down. Trust God fully. Obey even when it is inconvenient. Forgive even when it hurts. Run your race like no one else exists. And watch how quickly things shift when nothing is blocking the blessing that is already yours. Choose alignment over delay. Choose surrender over struggle. Choose obedience over opinion, because the blessing is real and it is closer than you think. If this message resonated with you, please like the video and share it with someone you love. Leave a comment below and let us know how God is working in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to Jesus Online Mission for more hope-filled content on faith and love. Remember, you're not alone. Our prayers are with you.